Here in racing, we saw the emergence of arguably the best crop of 3-year-olds ever. Octagonal, Saintly, Nothing Like a Dane and Falante. A 17-year-old Queanbeyan boy rode the winner of a Caulfield Cup. And born-again Christian Darren Beedman saluted the judge 16 times in Group 1 events. The start of the year saw Larry Cassidy leading the Sydney Jockeys Premiership, with Gai Waterhouse shading John Hawkes in the Trainers Premiership, while down south, Damien Oliver, Rod Griffiths and Darren Gauchi were dominating the Melbourne racing scene, with trainers Gerald Ryan and Peter Hayes vying for top honours. In Queensland, Mick Pelling was almost double the number of wins of his nearest rival, with Bruce McLaughlin heading for his 16th Trainers Premiership. Meanwhile, in South Australia, 2 apprentices, Jason Holder and Joe Bowditch, headed the Jockeys Premiership, with Hayes having a mortgage on the Trainers Premiership.
The year got off to a dramatic start with single mother Angela Johnson leading 3-year-old Crying Game to the WA Derby and then an all-the-way win in the Perth Cup. It had been a trying time for Johnson, who'd only had 1 horse in her stable after financial troubles reduced her team from 20 to 1.
Game will bring them around the corner in the Cup. 3/4 Bullwinkle. Cloudy Bay on the inside. Dies now starting to stoke up Ernesto. Field Officer struggling. And then Boheed. Dark Czar's under great pressure around the corner, followed by Astro Kima. Safe place. Straightening up though and Crying Game. Harvey gave him full rein. The 3-year-old got away from Bullwinkle. He pulls the whip on Crying Game. 3 lengths to Ernesto. And then Bullwinkle followed by Boheed. But Crying Game. The crowd roaring. The 3-year-old's got the Cup won. The first time since Diana in 72, a brilliant 3-year-old, and he raced down to score it all the way, winning the Cup from Ernesto. 3rd Bullwinkle, 4th home was
It was Queanbeyan's turn, attracting one of the best fields in years for its annual Cup meeting. Local hope Ken Quest, drew under the arches and had run his race before the gates opened. Visitor Roadworthy, too good.
And Placido starting Deja Slew between horses, and then came Yobro into the straight in the Queanbeyan Cup. Golden Step is the leader. Roadworthy coming at it at the 200. All Angel starts to drop off. Let Me Past and Deja Slew is warming up. Then Yobro. Roadworthy got to a narrow lead. Deja Slew out after it, but Roadworthy holding them at bay. And Roadworthy will win the Queanbeyan City Cup. Goes on to beat Deja Slew and Golden Step. Then Linesman Let Me Pass, Soup Kitchen, All Angels.
John Hawkes pulled clear of Gai Waterhouse in Sydney for the position of top trainer. Meanwhile, down south, attention was focused on Flemington and the Australian Cup. Who could have guessed that this horse would provide Bart Cummings with his 10th Melbourne Cup?
100 metres left to go. Nothing Like a Dane is the leader. Close up on the outside, going forward very quickly there into the picture is Dark Czar with a good run, and he was followed by over on the inside Campaign Warrior. Saintly races edges, not finding a great deal. Diali Jern from a long way back. Nothing Like a Dane the leader, being tackled in earnest now by Campaign Warrior, and over on the outside there Saintly is joining in. Star Dancer behind them, Paris Lane, and they're followed by Peep on the Sly. Saintly hit the front of the Australian Cup and is well clear of the final stages. Saintly drew away. Nothing Like a Dane can't go on. Peep on the Sly finishing on, but it's Saintly's Australian Cup. Saintly wins it well. Second home, I think, Bialy. Peep on the Sly. 3rd Circles of Gold. Nothing Like a Dane, and they were.
It was then Canberra's turn in the Black Opal Series. Bart Cummings sent 4 fillies down to compete in the preview, which was taken out by Danehill youngster Precious Glitter. However, the Black Opal attracted a promising juvenile in Paint. He was trying to become the first horse to win the Blue Diamond, Black Opal and the Golden Slipper treble.
Precious Glitter's down towards the inside. In the straight with about 300 to go, and Painter's cruised away. Painter's dashed away from the field. Cashier in second, followed by Brave Bulldog and Master Jolly and Big Jeffrey. But look at Paint go. Painter's racing away inside the final 100, and it's all Paint. Cashier runs on fairly well, but Painter's far too good. He's down. Paint beats Cashier. Master Jolly 3rd. Precious Glitter in behind those then.
This year will most likely be remembered for the stunning clash of the 3-year-olds, Octagonal, Saintly and Nothing Like a Dane meeting for the first time in the Rosehill Guineas. And while they would meet again, they never produced a race quite like their first. Ian Craig was awarded for this call.
3 quarters and 3 deep is Super Slew, a length and a half, Nothing Like a Dane on the inside of Roy Sin. Another 2 lengths, Octagonal Falonte on his inside from Saintly, right on the back of Octagonal. Beatman about to go, and Payne on Saintly following him forward. And then Reasons followed by Shah Haraz, a good margin, Future King and Bold Chief last, straightening up. Delinquent the leader. Here comes Nothing Like a Dane and Octagonal with Saintly on the extreme outside. Octagonal and Nothing Like a Dane hit the front. About 3 quarters to a length there. Break on Saintly, who's starting to close. The big O, the leader, Octagonal. Slowly but surely, Saintly's getting Octagonal. Octagonal still in front. Saintly and Nothing Like a Dane can't get him. Octagonal! Octagonal! Darren Beedman wins the Amy Guineas from a very close finish between Saintly, wide out, Nothing Like a Day in the inner, and then Delinquent Falonte, Royce in, followed home by Reasons, Future King, Super Slew.
After his success in the Black Opal, Paint was sent out second favourite in the Golden Slipper behind the Lee Freedman trained Merlene. Freedman was promised a life supply of tuies if he could capture his 4th successive slipper. Who will forget the furor after the race when Greg Hall fronted the stewards on account of careless riding, resulting in a $50,000 fine reportedly paid by the horse's owner, Kerry Packer.
The slipper and Paint hits the front, Flavour after it, and here is Merlene. Merlene runs to Paint and Flavour and past the 200. Merlene on the outside hits the front and is racing clear. Merlene put more than a length on Paint, Flavour in 3rd place, but a great win to Merlene. Merlene from Paint and Flavour, then Zaya, followed by Batavian, Armadale, Dane Ripper. A gap to Clang further away.
It was the battle of the big 3 again in the AJC Derby in front of a record crowd of 40,000 at Randwick. 3rd place getter Falonte giving patrons a glimpse of what was to come. Octagonal came out on top again, jockey Darren Beedman timing his run to perfection, leading many experts to compare the Zabil Colt to champion Kingston Town.
The end interval, a half to 3 quarters of a length on Nothing Like a Dane, a length Falonte working to 3rd. Royce in on the inside from Super Slew and then Saintly, and Darren Beedman asking the big O to go, and he's responding to Beedman's urging, coming right down the outside, but Falonte hits the front. Octagonal's after him and Saintly between them. Nothing Like a Dane can't go on. Octagonal, Saintly and Falonte. What a finish. Octagonal on the outside and Saintly stride for stride. Octagonal is doing better. The champ is home. It's Octagonal's Derby. Saintly 2nd. 3rd Posse Falonte, then Royce and Nothing Like a Dane, followed home by Super Slew.
The Doncaster handicap followed. Trainer Gay Waterhouse dominated the field with Sprint By, Juggler and All Our Mob, the best of them. It was a classic finish. The injury-prone Sprint By getting up right on the line ahead of Dana Singer and stablemate Juggler.
Tackled by Dana Singer, Next Joy, then Sprint By Our Marquise and All Our Mob, and Catlin opening, Dana Singer just in front. Sprint By comes at Dana Singer, All Our Mob flying, Sprint By hits the front, Sprint By from a photo. We've got Juggler flying through the inside and Dana Singer the outside from All Our Mob, Bravado, Our Marquise, Catlin opening, Magic Road, Auntie Mary, and then
Stayer's turn and the 2 miles of the Sydney Cup. Count Shivers was sent out favourite in what was looked upon as a substandard field on a rain-affected Randwick.
Left to go, and Cornwall King and the Bandit have raced away from Gold Sovereign with Electronic, and Tennessee Oak is joining in, and Count Shivers is following Tennessee Oak, and then Brilliant Power and Old Spiritual Star. The Bandit hits the front, 250 to go in the Sydney Cup, but here's Count Shivers and Spiritual Star. Count Shivers goes to the front, 175 to travel. He beat off the Bandit, and then comes the grey Spiritual Star, but Count Shivers is another big one for the Freedmans. Count Shivers and Stephen King will win the Cup. It's Count Shivers from the Bandit. Boat, I reckon, beat Spiritual Star for 3rd, followed then by Brilliant Power, Dark Czar.
Melbourne Cup winner Doremus returned to the winner's circle with his win in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. It was his first triumph since his Melbourne Cup win, but notably, the 3rd place Super Slew had more to come in the winter.
Next Joy. Pendy's had a cushy run, so has Dana Singer fourth, followed by Juggler from All Our Mob, and then Corndale the Penny. DeRemus is going to be pushed about 4 deep on the turn, further back Bionic Bess, and then Super Slew and Auntie Mary is last as they turn for home. Coming around the corner at the 400 mark, Sober Suit is tackled by the Epsom winner, Next Joy. Next Joy takes the lead on top of the rise. Here's Juggler. Juggler into the clear after him quickly, followed by All Our Mob, and wider out DeRemus running on very strongly. Juggler hit the lead past the 200. DeRemus coming down the outside though is thundering home. DeRemus is coming after Juggler. DeRemus put paid to Juggler in 2 strides, takes the lead and races away to score a brilliant win. DeRemus comes from last to beat Juggler. Super Slew has run a big race at long odds for third. Then Dana Singer, All Our Mob.
What a memorable autumn. The highlight of the period, the champion 3-year-olds, the disappointing injury to talented sprinter Hariba, which prevented him from starring in the autumn. We moved to winter, and slowly the cream was rising to the top in racing circles. Jockey Kevin Moses, who was outed after his knowledge of the jockey tapes, returned to race riding, and although it took him a while to return to his peak, he quickly resumed his place as one of the best long-distance jockeys in Australia. In Brisbane, the Doomben Cup saw DeRemus battle again, while the revitalised horse Juggler turned the tables on the Queen Elizabeth Stakes winner, with jockey Darren Beeman outsmarting Damien Oliver.
One's gone to the lead. Juggler's coming after him. Stony Bay still there. Here comes DeRemus down the outside with All Out Mob. Juggler hit the front. 300 metres to go. Juggler in front, a length clear. DeRemus is coming after him on the outside with All Out Mob. Juggler's still in front. 150 to go. DeRemus trying hard to get to him. Juggler's the leader. He's holding DeRemus. DeRemus can't get there. Juggler's too good. Juggler first. DeRemus second. All Out Mob third. Followed in by Delinquent. Next home, Noble Lotto. Crying Game.
Focused southwest for the Adelaide Cup, and the race was taken out by French Resort, ridden by local apprentice Jason Holder. Second in the large field was Skybo, who would later fill a placing in the 1996 Melbourne Cup.
Resort section late on the scene out wide, Gate War, but this bonny little mare, French Resort in front. Skybo is coming home like a train, but French Resort's in front. She's got a head out, she extends, and it's Colin Alderson's Cup.
The sprinters got their chance in the Doomben 10,000, and a shock to most punters with long-shot Suntain taking out the event. Suntain, who was being trained at Kembla Grange, had won a race at Queanbeyan in his early starts. However, the horse was taken away from his trainee, Bernie Howlett, after the win when he suggested that the horse be spelled for the spring.
A dash quickly on the outside. Suntain is with them, followed by Green Sweeper on the inside, and then Pimpata Sun. Further back is Shame, and then Cutler and Persian Flyer sticking to the inside. Monopolize coming wide, and so is Encores. Suntain is the leader in the straight, 300 metres to go. Chief De Beer struggling to get to him. Quick return on the inside. Here's Encores flying home out wide. Suntain is in front. They've got 150 metres to go. I don't know whether they're going to catch him. Encores is flying home now. Suntain in front. Encores trying hard to get to him. He can't get there. No. Suntain won the 10,000. Suntain first. Tight second and third. Encores second. Loader flying home. Persian Flyer and quick return in that bunch. Further back then.
The Stradbroke Handicap was a deserved win for one of the most unluckiest horses in Australia. One of Dane Hill's earlier progeny, Dana Singer, finally broke through for a strong victory. The stallion was retired to stud soon after. Lee Friedman lost another of his good horses to the stud book.
At the moment, Dana Singer's sprinting quickly on the outside. He's gone to the lead. The run's there for Hariba now if he's good enough, but Dana Singer shot away. 150 metres to go. It's Dana Singer a length in front. Here comes Encores. Encores is flying after Dana Singer, but Dana Singer's giving plenty. Oh, he's too good. Dana Singer first. Dana Singer's beaten Encores. Monopolize got third, followed in by Mamselle Padril and then Hariba. Next in was later Persian Flyer.
It was then the 3-year-olds' turn in Brisbane as they headed north for the Queensland Derby. A talented field met the starter and a future stayer was found. Balance, who treated the field with contempt, beat the favourite Faience easily and accounted for the second-place Super Slew and third-place runner Revenge with consummate ease. There would be more to come for this young stayer in the spring as a 4-year-old.
Slew hit the lead. It's Super Slew just in front of Battlewise. Revenge sticking on. Valance is coming with a big run down the outside. Super Slew in front. Valance is going to him with every stride. Super Slew just in front. Valance diving on the line. Photo close. Valance or Super Slew, nothing in it. Third Revenge, followed in by Battlewise. Next home Symphony Time. Further back Priceless Asset, then Faience, who failed to stay in the straight.
The good horses returned to Queensland for the 1996 Brisbane Cup, and what a one-act affair. Dupain, the Alan Bell trained 5-year-old, murdered his opponents, which many saw to be a good insight into the future spring aspirations for this quality horse. Ridden by battling former Victorian jockey Kevin Forrester, the horse won by 5 lengths. Third in the event was 3-year-old Super Slew, who would be spelled and brought back as a 4-year-old for the Spring Carnival in Melbourne.
And French Resort is 2 away third on the outside of Lord Siri, followed by Maxim. Knowledge Box hard ridden over on the inside, 1 to Cushman, followed by Cedo Bridge and then Teltina, Knowles Wish and the Phantom Chance and Super Slew swinging to the outside. They've hit the straight now, just on 400 metres to go. Dupain sprinted quickly on the outside. He's really turning it on, Dupain, and he's raced away from them. 300 metres to go. Dupain's raced away. He's 3 lengths in front of Gossett's French Resort. Then Maxim, the Phantom Chance and Super Slew. But boy, look at this. It's Dupain well clear with 100 metres to go. He's killing them in the Brisbane Cup and he's going to win it easily. Dupain first by 6 lengths. Maxim second. Super Slew third. Then the Phantom Chance.
The end of the Brisbane Carnival brought a lull in major racing around Australia as the major horses were rested for their shots at spring stardom. Leading Canberra jockey Dale Spriggs was thrown from his mount and was seriously wounded when Greenfield Star walked over the top of him. The injuries to Dale included a punctured lung, a ruptured spleen and several broken ribs. However, Dale being the typical fighter, he returned to the saddle to ride in the Canberra Cup, but more on that shortly.
Meanwhile, looking at the premierships, firstly in Sydney, Darren Beedman took out his 2nd premiership in a row. John Hawkes overhauled Gay Waterhouse to take out his 3rd premiership in a row. Down south, Darren Gauchi and Jason Holder won their respective jockeys' titles, while Peter Hayes won the trainees' honours in both southern states. In Brisbane, Mick Pelling and Bruce McLaughlin continue on their winning way, dominating the northern scene.
The Canberra Cup once again drew a star-studded field with the 1993 Cox Plate winner, the Phantom Chance, gaining the top weight of 60.5 kilos. However, it was a one-act affair, with Dancing Sun taking the lead shortly after the start on a slow track, which favoured those on the pace, overcoming an outside barrier.
Clear, out about 4 in front, battling on Noble Dane, followed by Deja Slew coming home fairly well. Then Western approaches, the next one was Ripper. He's gone for Dancing Sun. Out wide running on was Deja Slew and the Phantom Chance down the outside, but it's far too late. Dancing Sun races away to win the Cup, and it's all Dancing Sun. Dancing Sun first, the Phantom Chance second, followed by Deja Slew third. In behind those on deck, John Deaver, then Ripper, Noble Dane. Western approaches.
The first Group 1 of the spring came shortly after the Epsom Handicap over the Randwick Mile. Falonte had returned in stunning form, taking out the Warwick Stakes comfortably first up. He was sent out favourite, but there was a question mark over whether the 4-year-old could overcome an outside barrier, and without the services of regular jockey Mick Dittman, who had been suspended earlier in the week. All Our Mob was the best back runner to beat Falonte, but it was all Falonte in the run home.
To Fantasy first into the stretch, a length and a half. Falonte popped the big question by Brian York, and he cruised to the lead and down to the 250. Falonte put 2 lengths cattle in opening flight. To Fantasy's gone. All Our Mob is battling on, but this super racehorse Falonte is giving his Epsom rivals a bath. Falonte 4 on All Our Mob, Iron Horse third, but Falonte, super racehorse second, All Our Mob third, Iron Horse, then Buzz off cattle in opening. Peruzzi flight.
While Falonte showed he was at peak form, Saintly and Nothing Like a Dane had a lot of work to do before the trip south. Saintly had been beaten by Adventurous in the Craven Plate, but backed up 3 days later in the Metropolitan over 2,400 metres. Saintly, Nothing Like a Dane, and up-and-coming Gay Waterhouse mare Hula Flight were the best backed runners in the race. Saintly starting an even money favourite. However, once again, Saintly was the bridesmaid.
Flight gets the run, and then on the inside is Fewer Chosen, but Saintly and Hula Flight have come away. Nothing Like a Dane making ground on the outside. Saintly as flat as a strap. Hula Flight is kicking back. Nothing Like a Dane is flying. Hula Flight doing too well. Hula Flight wins the Metrop. I reckon Nothing Like a Dane may have nosed Saintly for second. Nothing in it, followed home then by the Phantom Chance and Fewer Chosen. And then Western.
Saw the beginnings of the Melbourne Spring Carnival. Octagonal had made a return to racing but showed no signs of winning. But when Darren Beedman got on board for the Underwood Stakes, the unbeatable duo were back in the winner's circle despite the protests of the place-getters. It was, however, the runs of Doremus and Dupain that caught the eye for the Caulfield Cup to be run in a week's time. The Caulfield Cup came and went. 4-year-old Arctic Scent, ridden by local jockey Brent Stanley, giving trainer Jim Mason an unexpected highlight. The track, unfortunately, was not in peak condition and biased towards front runners, not giving the heavily backed runners Nothing Like a Dane, Hula Flight, Doremus and Count Chivas a chance. It was a disappointing race that will be remembered for the track bias rather than the win of Arctic Scent.
Circles of Gold and Arctic Scent about to get a run through. On the outside, Circles of Gold hit the front. Arctic Scent trying to push through, then Doremus late. Iron Horse fighting back at Circles of Gold in front. Arctic Scent getting up on the inside. Young Stanley's got Arctic Scent finishing better. Arctic Scent is going to take the Caulfield Cup. Arctic Scent wins the length. Circles of Gold, third home Iron Horse. Doremus ran fourth. There for eight.
Racing then moved to Moonee Valley for the best weight for age race in Australia, the WS Cox Plate. It attracted a small but select field of 8 runners. Volante and Juggler were sent out equal favourites, with Saintly and Octagonal firm in the betting. Crowd favourite Octagonal was the sentimental favourite, but didn't fire a shot in the run home. However, the day will be remembered not only for the race, but the lap of honour performed by seriously ill race caller Bill Collins, who will be long remembered in Australian racing history. The race was a fitting finale to an enormous build-up.
Game is grabbed by Volante. Juggler wider out on the track with All Our Mob and Saintly putting in a run out wider. All Our Mob and Volante being tackled by Juggler, and the widest runner is Saintly with a run. All Our Mob, Volante now from Juggler and Saintly. 4 in line, 2 to Octagonal. They turn for home, and the whips are cracking. It's All Our Mob, Saintly, Juggler and Volante. Here's a great go, 150 to go. Volante, Saintly coming at it on the outside. Saintly getting up to Volante and Juggler the centre. Saintly on the outside. Volante strikes back deadly. Saintly may be a nose. Volante nothing in it. Third very tight. It's Juggler. All around up with a great finish, and they got away from Octagonal.
For the first time in recent history, Melbourne turned on spectacular weather as the carnival moved to Flemington for its finale. The track was hard and fast, many horses jarring up, preventing them from backing up on the Tuesday. Once again, the straight track races came under scrutiny, with a notable bias between the inside and outside rail switching during the carnival. The Victoria Derby was the first race on the agenda, but it lacked the class of previous years. For the record, Portland Player gave Lee Friedman another Group 1.
Given a crack with a wet Portland Player, and down the outside Ebony Grove is coming with a run. It's Alpha Portland Player, Ebony Grove. They've grabbed Prattler. Ebony Grove out wide now, going up with Portland Player and Alpha, who's still fighting back. 100 to go. Over on the inside, Alpha grabbed by Portland Player. Portland Player in front of Alpha and Ebony Grove. Portland Player wins the Derby. Wins it a half neck to either Alpha or Ebony Grove. They're followed back on the inside by Prattler. Further back in the race, Mustang Ranch, then Tombola. First
Tuesday in November was the main race of the year, and what a race it was. Question marks over the eventual winner Saintly as to whether he would run out the 2 miles. The international hopes again disappointed, with Cup favourite Oscar Schindler not worrying the leaders at all, running a disappointing 14th. Nothing Like a Dane also failed to live up to the expectations of trainer Gai Waterhouse after enjoying the run of the race. But all honours to Saintly, who took the lead soon after turning for home, giving an unusually emotional Bart Cummings a record 10th Cup. The financial problems he faced several years ago were now well behind him, and his next Melbourne Cup winner may be unraced 2-year-old Hilltop.
Dane gets out, goes to Grey Shot. Then Fewer Chosen, Saintly wider out, coming home well. Then for the back centre go. It's Saintly ranging up to Nothing Like a Dane. Saintly has reached Nothing Like a Dane. Grey Shot struggling, then Count Shivers. A long gap in the field for the back. Skybow, no Oscar today. Saintly in front at the 150. Bart Cummings might have his 10 Melbourne Cups. Saintly's gone 2 lengths. Count Shivers. Then on the inside is Senator from Skybow, but Saintly wins the Melbourne Cup. Saintly scores a length and a half. Count Shivers, I think Skybow may have grabbed third. Senator fourth for the back. Nothing Like a Dane. Doremus Chevy at Arctic set. Well back Grey Shot, Sapio. In behind them the Bandette, Circles of Gold, set a go. Then the Phantom Chance. Well back is to Dad. Super Slew. No Oscar Schindler this afternoon in Melbourne Town.
Saintly's next mission was to be the Japan Cup. However, after he sustained a virus on the flight to Tokyo, he was scratched the morning of the big race. For the record, the race was taken out by Singspiel and with big race jockey Frankie Dettori on board.
The Oaks was the last feature race of the carnival, and the Bart Cummings trained Dashing Eagle was sent out favourite despite a poor performance in the lead-up race, the Wakeful Stakes. However, once again, the filly failed to get the journey, and the race was taken out by My Brightia, partnered by the Sydney jockey Glenn Boss.
Now by Beatman. Denendry's getting up on the inside and going home better than the stablemate at the moment from Fairway Lass. It's Angel's Image in front. Here comes Denendry, followed by DeRobay, and My Brightia starting to run home well in the middle. My Brightia's getting home. It's DeRobay, and on the inside Angel's Image and My Brightia up on the fence. The bolter My Brightia's getting up to DeRobay and My Brightia. My Brightia's won the Oaks. I think Denendry grabbed second in front of DeRobay, and right behind them Angel's Image. A gap in the race further back then came Pray for Rain.
Since the Spring Carnival, many events have taken place in the racing game. The return to race riding of Miracle Malcolm Johnston, the reduced suspension of the pumper Jim Cassidy, who will return to race riding New Year's Day with 3 rides, and former local leading jockey Peter Wiggins, who will return to race riding in February. That was the year in racing.